The biggest travel packing mistake isn't what you bring, it's what you refuse to leave behind. It took me years to understand that, and I learned it the hard way. Because most of the time, packing feels like preparation, but really, you're deciding how much friction you're willing to carry. More gear doesn't make trips better, it usually makes them harder. After years of travel, this is what I finally learned. As a gear guy, my instinct is to bring everything. More options, more backups, more just in case. And over time, that mindset didn't make travel easier, it made it heavier. Most packing mistakes aren't about forgetting things, they're about bringing too many maybes. For years, this was my biggest one. I wasn't packing for the trip I was taking, I was packing for every possible version of that trip, just in case. And as a gear guy, this one was hard. Extra tech, extra layers, backups for backups, because what if I needed it? So here's the rule that finally fixed this. If my trip doesn't fall apart without it, it's probably not critical. So what is critical? Well, for me, critical is typically prescription meds, identification, my phone, boarding pass, navigation, and communication all live on my phone. And then I need enough power to keep it alive, my phone. And then proper clothing for the conditions is absolutely critical. So merino wool, especially because I can wear it for multiple days without odor getting out of hand. Without any one of these, the trip gets hard fast. Critical gear, it keeps the trip moving. Everything else adds friction. So once I stopped asking, what if I need this, and started asking, what keeps the trip working, my packing got lighter and calmer. So once I stopped packing just in case gear, my next hurdle was backups. This wasn't a new mistake, it was the same instinct, just applied a different way. So instead of packing for every possible trip, I started packing multiple answers to the same problem. Packing backups means bringing more than one thing to solve the same problem. Not because you need them, but mainly because you don't trust any one solution. So for me, that showed up as scenarios. A big battery pack for maximum capacity, for instance, and then a smaller one because it felt easier to carry around on a day-to-day basis. Not duplicates, just different versions of the same solution for slightly different imagined scenarios. So each choice felt reasonable on its own, but together they added complexity and friction. This isn't really about preparedness, it's about confidence. And if I didn't fully trust the choice I made, instead of deciding, I would hedge. And here's what finally clicked. One trusted solution is better than two half-trusted ones. If I feel the need to pack a backup, that's usually a sign that the main choice isn't right. Now I pack one primary solution per problem, and I make sure it's something I actually trust. Backups don't make travel safer, they make your bag heavier and your decisions harder. So once I started trusting my individual choices, something else became obvious. Once I stopped packing just in case gear and stopped doubling backups, I realized something else. I was packing great gear, but I wasn't packing a system. So packing gear instead of a system means you're choosing good items, but you're not thinking about how they all work together. So everything technically fits, but nothing feels settled. And if you've ever unpacked half your bag to grab one thing, this is why. This is where friction shows up. You're always digging, always unpacking more than you're using, and your bag never feels calm. The frustrating part? That doesn't mean you packed bad gear. What finally clicked is that packing isn't about items. It's about access and flow. So how often do I use this? Where do I need it during the day? What needs to be easy to reach? What can live deep in the bag? Now I pack by how I use things, not by category. Daily use items live together, rare use items get buried. Nothing floats just because it fits. If something doesn't have a clear place or purpose, it usually doesn't belong. Great gear doesn't fix bad packing logic. A good system does. And nowhere does bad logic show up faster than with clothing. So this is the most common mistake I see, and I made it for years. Overpacking clothing options. Packing outfits for every possible version of the trip instead of the trip I'm actually taking. Different moods, different weather guesses, different versions of me. Here's the rule I finally learned. If I don't wear it at home, I definitely won't wear it while traveling. And if I don't feel confident in an outfit, I don't bring it. Clothing feels safe, but it's bulky and unforgiving. So every extra option adds volume, adds weight, adds indecision. No matter how much I packed, I always wore the same like basic clothes. I didn't switch out much. I wore what I'm comfortable with, what I'm used to wearing. And this is really where Merino changed things for me, because once I trusted my clothing, I stopped packing backups. Like for socks and underwear, for instance, I bring 2 pair. One gets worn, one gets aired out. As long as Merino breathes, it doesn't hold odor. So I don't need 5 or 6 pairs. Same with t-shirts. I wear it, hang it overnight, wear it again confidently. That trust comes from pieces I've worn a lot. So -33 boxers, darn tough socks, Merino tees. Proof makes great Merino t-shirts. I love them. -33 and Smartwool, they're pretty solid options too. And when I trust my clothing, I don't pack options. Now I pack clothes I already trust. Things I wear at home, things I'll repeat, things that work together. If I wouldn't reach for it at home or don't feel good wearing it, it definitely doesn't earn a spot. And once I stopped packing clothes I didn't trust, something else got lighter too. This one took me the longest to understand, because it's not about weight or volume. It's about mental weight. Mental weight is the friction gear creates when you pack too much. Too many options, too many decisions, too much stuff competing for attention. Even if the bag isn't heavy, clutter makes travel feel heavy. Travel shouldn't feel like inventory management. You're always thinking about gear, adjusting it, managing it, deciding things you shouldn't have to. None of that shows up on a packing list. What finally clicked is that good packing should basically disappear once the trip starts. If I'm constantly aware of my bag, something's wrong. And now I pack until the bag feels calm, not full. Everything else has a place. I know where things live. I don't second guess what I brought. That confidence matters more than shaving ounces. So less gear doesn't just make travel lighter, it makes it quieter. All these mistakes came down to one thing: packing for clarity and not options. Once I trusted my gear and my systems, travel got easier. I'll link the gear I actually use below, and some of those links are gonna be affiliate links. If you like practical, experienced travel gear, definitely hit subscribe below.